This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, I think we have established that at this point in our lifetime. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyway, today's Tuesday, April the 14th of 2026. And we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, doing all the fun stuff we get to do, no doubt about that, as we are doing our thingo. So anyways, how have you been? How's the last 24 hours or so been for you? Because I always like to have that question in regards of what the hell's going on. So outside of that, let's start talking right away about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So let's start talking. So have you looked over the last 24 hours about everything that's happening? McDonald's deliveries, talking about a tax cut. The big bootyful bill. Yeah, I just said bootyful, just in case, that kind of stuff. Have you heard any of this? Because if not, I'm sure that we will have some sequence of events. Apparently, I don't know how to talk with a microphone anymore. We'll have some sequence of events to talk about. That is for sure. So let me tell you what we do around here. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's just kind of what we do. So we'll talk a little bit about this and a little bit about that and do a little bit of everything. It's just kind of the way that it goes. So if you're good with that, let's just kind of talk about this. We talked about safety in the news and safety. I bring in some professional broadcasters. They say what the hell's going on because I'm always lost trying to figure out everything that's going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So don't worry about any of that stuff because we're going to take care of you for the next few hours doing all the fun stuff we get to do. So if you want to interact with the show, all you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com.
Callinradio.com.
Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options of the things that you can do right away. So don't worry about that. So outside of that, all kinds of weird happening over the last little bit. I'm not joking as I say that. We're going to talk about some powered AI stuff that you're going to probably be surprised. But hey, at this particular point, I'm not surprised about a lot of things related to AI, and I'm not surprised about most of the stuff that's going on inside of the world. I just want to be, but I think I'm just not. I'm just not anymore. Okay, so with that being said, I have my friends waiting from Feature Story News. They're ready to talk. They're ready to say, hey, this is what's going on. And I feel like today is going to be an all over the place kind of show. And then I start thinking about it and I go, I think all of them are kind of all over the place kind of shows. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this. Let's get into the news right now. Seriously.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Ishan Garg. Oil prices fell while Asian stocks rose as America says it's continuing to engage Iran to make a deal even as it began its blockade of Iranian ports. Japan's Nikkei 225 and South Korea's Kospi were up around 2%, while Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong opened around 1% higher. Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
The global oil benchmark Brent crude fell to $97 a barrel. The US military has begun its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, targeting ships from Iranian ports. Iran has threatened to hit back against Gulf ports in retaliation for the blockade. But there are also reports that talks are still ongoing, as US President Donald Trump says Iran wants to make a deal. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian says the Islamic Republic is open to talks with the United States, but only within the framework of international law. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
Pope Leo says he is not afraid of the Trump administration, but added he is not interested in debating Donald Trump after the president launched a social media tirade aimed at the pontiff over the weekend. Last week, the Pope described Mr. Trump's threat to end Iranian civilization as truly unacceptable. Mitch McCann reports.
Over the weekend, the Pope presided over evening prayer at St. Peter's Basilica, where he condemned war, but chose not to criticise the US by name. The Pope has also previously said that God does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war, but rejects them, again without mentioning America directly. Frustrated, President Donald Trump posted an angry rant against the Pope on Truth Social, saying that Pope Leo was weak on crime, terrible on foreign policy, and that he should be thankful because he was appointed because they, presumably meaning the other cardinals, thought that would be the best way to deal with President Trump. Pope Leo responded on Monday saying, "I'm not afraid of the Trump administration or of speaking out loudly against the message of the gospel," and that he's not interested in getting into a debate. Mitch McCann, New York.
President Donald Trump says the US will eliminate any ship that comes near its blockade of waters near Iran. Tony Waterman tells us more.
The military says that no ships will be allowed to enter or exit Iranian ports. The objective here is pretty clear: to squeeze Iran's economy by ensuring that it makes no money off of oil and therefore push the Iranians back to the negotiating table. And just hours after this blockade took effect, President Trump claimed that it was already working. He told reporters at the White House that the, quote, right people in Iran had called on Monday and wanted to work on a deal. Trump often, though, uses this type of language in negotiations, claiming that the other side is begging for a deal. It is part of his negotiating style, so it's really hard to know how true this is. Tony Waterman, Washington.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the fall of Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban after the best part of 2 decades in power, the dominant political figure in his country and a major player on the world stage, a persistent thorn in the side of the European Union, an ally to Vladimir Putin, a beacon for other far-right figures in the United States and Europe who believed, like Orban, that democracy should be fundamentally illiberal. Historian Timothy Snyder wrote the book On Tyranny.
His striking success was to establish a kind of far-right network involving transfers of money, transfers of memes, transfers of techniques. He was really at the origins of a project which now includes people like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. And so when Orban falls, it's a terrific body blow to people like Trump and Vance. All these people who portray themselves as nationalists are in fact part of an international concern. And Orban was the brains and the technique and to some extent the money behind that concern.
Orban lost in a landslide on Sunday, but undoing his influence and his tentacles within Hungary and further afield is going to take years. Tomorrow we'll look at the man now in charge of that undoing, Hungary's new Prime Minister, Peter Magyar. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
FSN is an independent source of news for TV, radio and digital networks worldwide. You can find more of our minute-by-minute updates on Twitter. Follow us there at Feature Story. And we have a wealth of audio and video stories from our global news bureaus on Facebook. You can find us there by following Feature Story News. Stay tuned for further updates right here, but for now, that is the latest Feature Story News. Ishan Garg reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
You've seen the loop. You've felt the shift. The script doesn't fit anymore, and neither do you. Safety transmission. The collapse of the construct is the third and final signal in the trilogy from J. Allen, PhD. And this time, it's not about waking up. It's about what you do once you're awake. The system didn't break. It just stopped pretending to hold you. And now it's blinking, rebranding presence, packaging resistance, and calling it progress. This book isn't a guide. It's a transmission. It doesn't teach the system how to evolve. It shows you how to stop performing for it. You'll see what happens when awareness becomes responsibility, when audits don't listen, and when leadership becomes a loop. But if you've made it this far, you're not here to be managed. You're here to carry signal. Safety transmission. The Collapse of the Construct. Now available in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by J. Allen, PhD. Because if it couldn't hold your signal, it was never real to begin with.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com patreon.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to RULA.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM. That's just kind of the way that it goes as we are talking. So, I think that we've gotten to the point that it seems like a lot of things are not off limits anymore. You know, at one point we felt like there was an off limit thing for some stuff, but it's gotten to the point that maybe we have looked at things and said, okay, maybe things are as not off limits as we once thought. A tech startup called Just Like Me has launched a new service where people can have a video calls with digital AI avatars of Jesus Christ. Yeah, I did say that. For $1.99 a minute or $49.99 for 45 minutes, the company says that Jesus AI is meant to be a modern mentor rooted in love, trained by the King James Bible and sermons from various pastors. They insist it's not meant to replace the faith or clergy. Just to offer comfort and guidance, the avatar is modeled after actor Jonathan Romy, who plays Jesus in The Chosen, but online reaction has been brutal. Many people say that they're charging nearly $2 a minute to talk to a Bible-trained chatbot is predatory, especially towards vulnerable believers. One person wrote, "This is evil." Hold on, this is evil. Let's see. So, yeah, I guess this is evil. You can talk to the real Jesus for free. Another joke, and even my confessions got hit with inflation. And yes, there is also a video game where you can literally play as Jesus called "I Am Jesus Christ." Take a listen to this.
And that through him we can find true rest for our souls. Trust the same steady love can be your anchor today, even when the waves seem high, and lean on prayer as a safe harbor. What small step could you take right now to invite that peace into your day?
Okay, so that's what it sounds like. So let's just make sure. Imagine explaining to your bank account that a mysterious charge is Jesus. And some people pray, some people meditate, some people FaceTime Jesus with a debit card. At $1.99 a minute, even Jesus is like, "My child, wrap it up." This is the first time in history Jesus has had a paywall. If Jesus is charging $49.99 for 45 minutes, I better walk away with a miracle and a merch bag. The disciples got unlimited access. We get a subscription plan. Jesus turning water into wine, it was free. Jesus' advice into revenue is $1.99. So what do you think about this? I know that I said it sounds like we've gotten to the point where we are not too far with stuff, but man, I think we've gotten to a point right now that we might have taken this too far.
You could change the station.
I just might do that.
But why risk emotional instability?
So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we are talking. I mean, I don't even know what the hell is going on. So there you go. There you go. Okay, what else do we got? Let's take a listen to some other crap that we have. In a TikTok video, a man revealed that a man's job should be. Take a listen to this.
Your job is to become the most handsome, fit, wealthiest man your bloodline has ever produced. You need to be working hard every single day, and it will pay off.
You know that this is stuff that people populate their mind with out there. I mean, I don't know. I look at it and I go, is this something that there's a lot of people out there taking a listen to? So I don't know. It becomes so weird inside of some of the stuff that is happening. What do you think here? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's just getting strange. So, did you hear about this one yesterday? because I have to share it with you. I just really do. Because I was sitting around listening to this, and I was like, what is going on here? So here's the thing. A viral moment unfolded at the White House when a woman wearing a DoorDash grandma shirt delivered McDonald's to President Trump, who I may add answered his own door, which was pretty interesting. According to reports, she arrived yesterday carrying 2 bags of McDonald's and told him that she brought all of his favorite menu items. Trump answered the door himself, took the bags, and chatted with her, even asking about her tax returns. He also commented on the moment, saying it doesn't look staged, does it? Take a listen to this.
McDonald's.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. I have your DoorDash order for you, Mr. President.
That's very nice. Look at this. This doesn't look staged, does it?
They're all your favorites.
That's good. These are good. DoorDash is doing a good job. So, the reason for this is the fact that I heard you picked up an extra $11,000 that you didn't get because the tax bill was so big. The refund was the biggest you've ever had. Is that a correct statement?
It definitely was. Yeah, I saved over $11,000 by not having to claim.
Was that surprising to you?
It was very surprising. Very
A
surprising.
great big beautiful bill. And that doesn't include overtime in your case. This is only just based on what we did in terms of every other aspect of the tax bill, right?
Yes, sir.
So it was $11,007.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that incredible? It's such an honor to meet you. And I think you voted for me, did you?
Maybe.
Yeah. I heard you're a great supporter. We appreciate it.
Okay, so that what happens when you get a McDelivery. Nothing says world power like answering the door for a McDelivery. Somewhere the Secret Service agents are updating their list of grandmas with combo meals, and she's the first delivery driver in history to be briefed by Secret Service. So there you go. Take a listen to this. A DoorDash delivery driver praised President Trump at the White House, saying no tax on tips. Policy helped her family immensely and delivered more than $11,000 in saving ahead of tax day. The driver, Sharon Simmons, met during the delivery at the White House, where she thanked him directly, telling him that he made a significant difference for her household. Listen to what Inside Edition said.
What kind of tip did you get?
I'm not going to talk money. I'm just going to say that it was very generous, and I'm very grateful for it.
Okay, so does she not want to talk about the tip because maybe that was a hit to the taxpayers? No, I'm just kidding as I say that. I don't know. Who knows what goes on? But what do you think here? I mean, how awkward was that? Like, how awkward was that? In regards of some of the stuff going on. Seriously. I look at it and I go, how do you kind of handle something like that? Like, okay, so the president wants to interact with you. What do? Is it something that you're willing to talk about? Or is it something that you go, not doing it? But, I mean, it doesn't look staged at all, as President Trump said as he first walked out. So kind of an interesting thing overall. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some other things as we are talking. So what are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Because I think that there's some other stuff to talk about real quick. So Pope Leo XIV addressed President Trump's recent criticism while speaking to reporters abroad in a flight to Algeria. Trump had accused the Pope of being weak on crime and catering to radical left. Leo said is the first American Pope dismissed the attacks and said that he has no fear of the Trump administration and will continue speaking out based on the message of the gospel. He says that his comments are not meant as political attacks and that does not view himself as a politician. The Pope has been openly critical of the Iran war, especially President Trump's threat to wipe out Iran's entire civilization. Leo said that he will continue to speak out loudly against the war. He also spoken against the administration's immigration policy. President Trump responded on Truth Social to reporters saying that we don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. He claimed that Leo supports nuclear weapons, a characterization that the Vatican has not echoed. So there you go. So look, I want you to think about how weird our world is. Just for a moment. If you kind of just give me a moment to explain this, I want you to realize that we have gotten to the point that we have discussions about some of the dumbest shit on the planet. And I'm not talking about wiping out entire civilizations, because that's super important as we are talking. But we are having discussion nowadays about people and the shit that they post on social media. So we just had a news story that we're talking about. President Trump wrote something on Truth Social, and that is a news story. Do you know what also we have news stories about? We also have news stories about individuals when they unfriend someone on social media. How have we gotten to the point where this shit is important that we need to talk about this as news stories? It gets so weird at times, some of the stuff that we discuss. I don't give two shits when somebody actually unfriended somebody else. Oh, they must not be together.
They must not be together anymore.
I don't care. Like, I really don't care. It's just the weirdest thing sometimes. Some of the discussions that we have. I just don't get it. Like, seriously, I don't get it at all, because why is this even a news story? Like, could you fathom for a moment, Walter Cronkite saying something like that? Walter Cronkite saying, hey, homeboy just unfriended this person. Let's talk about it as a news story.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I'm just saying, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what's going on. Let's continue talking. President Trump said that over the weekend that oil and gas prices could remain elevated headed into the midterm election in November, following the collapse of in-person peace talks with the U.S. and Iran. In an interview with Fox News Sunday Morning Features, Trump said the prices would likely stay the same or maybe a little bit higher. So, there you go. Think about that for a moment. Okay, in some other news, California Representative Eric Swalwell announced yesterday that he is resigning from the U.S. House of Representatives after several women accuse him of sexual assault and misconduct. The allegation also prompted him to withdraw from the California governor race, where he had been leading the Democratic candidate. In a statement posted on X, Eric said that he had been informed of an immediate expulsion vote being prepared against him. He argued that expelling a member of Congress without due process would be wrong, but added that it would also be unfair to his constituents for him to remain in office while facing such serious accusations. His resignation came one day after he ended his gubernatorial campaign, following calls for prominent Democrats to step aside. Reports from San Francisco Chronicle and CNN stated that the former district office employees accused him of 2 non-consensual sexual encounters. Eric has denied the allegation, calling them absolutely false and saying that he intended to fight them. Okay, let me make sure that I understand the wording of that. He called them absolutely false in saying that he intends to fight them. Is that fighting them for the sexual encounter? Or was that during the sexual encounter? Allegedly. Let's just make sure we throw that out there. But how weird is that? I mean, like, how weird is that conversation for a moment? Like, listen, I don't know what world we live in anymore. And let's talk about this for just a precise moment in California. You are aware that if you ask somebody to do something and they say no, that means no, and that's just kind of the end of how it should go. And hey, they're not interested, you move on, blah, 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 blah. If you're married, this becomes a whole other interesting concept, because you shouldn't be asking somebody else for things along those lines, but we'll leave that conversation for another day. But sometimes, if you take a look at some of the stuff that happens in California, it kind of rolls out in California first before it rolls out the rest of the U.S., I am of the point that if I lived in California and I was single, I would be actually having consent on paper before I did anything, because on how, you want to make sure that everything is
copacetic
before you move forward. Just something to think about. I don't know. Just think about that for a moment.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, a federal judge in Florida has dismissed President Trump's $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal. The suit, filed last summer, challenged the newspaper reporting on documents said that to a birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein from 2 decades ago. The Journal reported that the document, which included a sexually suggestive drawing and a message reading "Happy Birthday, may every day be another wonderful secret," was part of the 50th birthday album created for Epstein in 2003. Ghislaine Maxwell. The Epstein estate later shared the document with members of Congress. Trump has reportedly denied any connection to it, saying that the signature and message are not his.
Not mine.
In his ruling, Judge Darren Gales said that the lawsuit did not plausibly allege that the defendant acted with actual malice, a key legal requirement in defamation cases involving public figures. The case was dismissed without prejudice, meaning that Trump may refile. So, what do you think here? I mean, what an interesting time as we get to talk about some of this weird stuff. That is for sure. What do you think about the whole mess of things as we are talking? I mean, we've gotten to a portion inside of the world where things get kind of weird as we are talking. So take a listen to this real quick. A well-known sleep psychologist, Dr. Michael Bruce, also called the sleep doctor, says that most couples are getting intimate at the wrong time of the day. According to a survey he conducted, most people are intimate between 10:30 and 11:30 right before bed, but he says that the actual least ideal time, because your hormone levels are completely backwards for intimacy. At that hour, melatonin is high, your body is preparing to sleep, and testosterone, estrogen, adrenaline, and cortisol are low. He says the combination is basically the opposite of what the body needs for optimal connection and performance. Dr. Bruce claims that the best time is actually the first thing in the morning, where the hormones levels are naturally at their peak and melatonin is low. He also says that morning intimacy leads to a better connection and better performance, as showed in surveys. So what do you think here? I mean, I have just now made a message here that we are talking about, that what is the best time for you to be doing your thing. I mean, I know that just got strange here for a moment, but man, what a weird world that we're talking about, that we're constantly talking about some weird stuff going on inside of the world now. So what do you think about the whole thing? Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Or is it just one of those things that we should just leave it alone and not talk about any of that nonsense? Maybe that's the world that we should live in as we are talking. What do you think? I don't know. I get so confused sometimes as we are talking about a lot of stuff.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, Rated R Safety Show, main story time, 32 minutes past the top of the hour. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to talk a little bit more in regards to some of the stuff that is happening, some of the stuff that goes on, some of the stuff that we do around here. I have to ask this question because sometimes this is the question that drives me. But how happy or unhappy are you with your career choices? Do you look back and regret getting involved in safety? Do you look back and go, maybe I should have made other choices? Do you look back and go, at the end of the day, I made the wrong choice? Now, I will tell you, because I've been in this thing for so long, I have seen people be miserable that do safety. I've seen people that are extremely happy that do safety. I've seen people that have decided to jump to different segments inside of a organization because they do safety. Now, I will tell you, because I've gotten to interact with so many people throughout my career, that I have seen the people that turn around and they are, we'll say, can we use the quote, chosen into the actual position of safety. And it's because they've been doing something else within the organization, and they have said, hey, this is where you're going to be because it looks like you have enough knowledge base to be able to do this. I'm being serious. I'm not making that up as we go through this. So here's my question. Do you have regrets at this point for the choices that you've made to where you are now? Do you, and I'm not, looking at this and saying, let's talk about the what if. I could have, I should have. Not that. That is not what I'm out talking about. What I am talking about is, hey, there are times in life that people are not happy with their choices. And I get that. I understand that. It makes sense to me. But then there's times in life where people go, hey, I don't know if I made the right decision just overall. So here's the question for you. If you had to make the choices again, would you choose the career path that you're in currently? If the answer is yes, great. If the answer is no, what would you change? Now, I sometimes have this weird struggle when I'm interacting with people because of my background and because of the things that I've gotten to see, that I don't live in the what if scenario. I live in the right now scenario. And I look at it and I go, well, why did this person, as they're discussing with me, think that this other person had it so easy to get to where they're at? Now, I will tell you, I get to interact with quite a few consultants. And I don't mean that as a flex or as a brag. It's just reality. And some people believe that they were overnight sensations. Some people believe that it was just they just became this. Now, some of these people have interacted with some companies for 30 and 40 years before they decided to become consultants. Some maybe as low as 5, maybe some as low as 10 before they did that. But the perception is that they were so out there and it was just an overnight thing. Not always the case. Then I know of people that are out there and they claim that they are world-class consultants and can't carry a conversation for the most part, get invited to scenarios to go do stuff. And they're invited once, but not twice. That's not normally a good thing when you're a consultant. If you're invited one time to something and never invited back again to a company, that means they did not like what you had to offer. And just because you worked in an organization, let's use an example of a power generation, does not make you a subject matter expert in regards of what you're doing in regards of consulting. It really doesn't. And listen, if you are such a prominent consultant out there, overnight sensation or not quite overnight sensation, and you're posting another career that you're doing, let's use the example of like artwork or photography or some shit like that. Guess what? If that's what you're posting most of, more than likely, there is a side that most people will say, you're really not a consultant, because consulting should be what you're doing. Now, listen, we do this show day in and day out as I think about a lot of the stuff that's being discussed. And I complain, because this is really how the show started. It was a rant show. But I complain about what we see in the industry. And we talk about what's out there in the industry. And we talk about shoulda, coulda, woulda sometimes. And that's one of these moments right now. And why are we discussing this today? Because I want you to understand that sometimes on these quote unquote overnight sensations that people talk about, there's a lot more work going on and taking place that people don't see. Like prep time, preparing, talking about, trying to get the knowledge base. Do you understand how many hours sometimes are quoted into some of these things? You know how many hours of work happens for one of these shows to go across, for some of these things to go through, like clipping away, all that kind of fun stuff. It's not an overnight sensation. It is the work that's being put in. And what you're seeing is all of these years of people doing work and then coming forward. Listen, stepping onto that stage the first time and talking in front of people about your story, about things that you've seen inside of the safety industry is not the easiest thing to do. Not the first time. In time, it gets easier. Sometimes people still get nervous when they go out there and do it. And I mention all of this to tell you one thing. As we look into this industry, as we talk about this industry, what would you like to change? What would you like to see different? If the keys were given to you and say, run it the way that you want, what would you change about it? How would it be yours in a way that you would want? And would you have the balls or the guts to go out there and change it and potentially even flop in front of the world?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
We're going to take a little time out. During the break, turn your radio up louder. Another banger is coming your way right after this.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns.
This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game.
With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
You already know, don't say it out loud, just let it go. When I pull you close, when I take control, you already know, follow it down, don't look around, nothing else matters when I make that sound. You don't ask why, you don't resist, you just move like this, like this.
Okay. 46 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out, doing all of our fun stuff here on the Rated R Safety Show. So there you go. So this right here, this song is titled Velvet in Your Veins. I know. But let me explain this to you. Song's not readily available anywhere. Built this one in-house is what happened. So there you go. So there you go. So you already know. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse.
You already know.
You already know.
Don't say it out loud.
So there you go. Some things going on inside of the world of the multiverse as we are hanging out doing all of the fun stuff that we get to do. So let's start talking right away about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you're going to see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. I'm going to tell you, you go to that website, it can change everything for you. I'm not joking as I say that. Not joking at all. TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. There you go. There you go. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on in this beautiful multiverse of ours, because that's kind of what we do around here. So here we go. Going to tell you about this one coming up. Reality Shift, an observational symposium taking place in July. And it's July the 13th. I'm going to tell you that date's going to come closer, going to come quicker than what you imagine. July the 13th, 2026 in Orlando. We're going to be renting out a whole movie theater there, kind of doing some stuff there in regards to talking about behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, and we'll talk about some Signal Trilogy stuff as well. We would love to see you there if you want to come and hang out and do some things, no doubt about that. All you have to do, no, seriously, all you have to do is either scan the QR code that's on the screen right there or go to safetyfm.io. Safetyfm.io. Once you get there, it can change everything for you. Seriously, can change everything for you. No doubt about that. So with that being said, here's the gig. If you go there, sign up, we will get you into the thing. Of course, the seating is limited because it's a movie theater. That's just kind of how that goes. We are not doing this at a hotel. We're also going to watch and view a movie/documentary, and we would love for you to be involved. No doubt about that. So if you're cool with this, scan it. We'll see you there, and we'll get everything moving. No doubt about that, okay? So that will be the plan for the day as we move forward. So there you go. SafetyFM.io. Nick Weatherly, Todd Conklin, and yours truly will be there involved with the process. So there you go. Some plans for that. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and bring some John Small into our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute, because, hey, he's kind of good at telling us about what's going on. Here's John Small.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Pam. Walt Whitman said, "The earth is rude, silent, incomprehensible at first. Nature is rude and incomprehensible at first. Be not discouraged. Keep on. There are divine things well enveloped." Wow, what a quote. Whitman really had a way with words. I think he's saying that good things are there, but you might need to be patient. Sometimes that's hard. I know it's more fun to get what you want, right when you want it. In the real world, that's rare. I've had to wait for things. Sometimes I've had to save up money to do something I wanted to do now. Or maybe save up some time off days to take the trip that I want to take today. Maybe it's working up the courage to ask somebody out or ask for a raise or ask anything that requires more courage than we have at the moment. Sometimes we just need to step out of our comfort zone. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
International watchdogs in Europe are warning that Iran has carried out the highest number of executions in decades, with human rights groups calling for urgent diplomatic pressure to halt the killing.
Activists report that many of those facing execution are tied to broad anti-government protests earlier this year, and say legal proceedings often lack basic due process guarantees. United Nations experts have urged countries to keep the issue on the agenda at the next Human Rights Council session in Geneva. Gary Beck reporting.
A major U.S. naval blockade on Iranian ports and the Strait of Hormuz has begun at 10 a.m. EDT, dramatically raising the stakes in the wartime standoff between Washington and Tehran.
U.S. Central Command says the blockade will cover all traffic entering and exiting Iranian ports, with warships ordered to intercept and, if necessary, destroy Iranian vessels that approach the restricted zone. Iran has condemned the move as illegal. Chris Anderson reporting.
In New Jersey, a Saturday night shooting at a Chick-fil-A in Union has left one person dead and 6 others injured, with police still hunting a suspect caught on dashcam video fleeing through the parking lot.
Officers rushed to the restaurant on Route 22 after reports of gunfire shortly after 8:45 p.m. and arrived to find multiple victims inside and in the parking lot. Authorities have not named a suspect, but say they are following leads from a video. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A federal judge in Louisiana has declined, for now, to block prescriptions for the abortion pill mifepristone being sent by mail, dealing a setback to state efforts to restrict access across the country.
The judge said FDA rules that allow telehealth consultations and mail-order delivery of the medicine can remain in place while a broader legal challenge proceeds through the courts. Kyle Norris reporting.
A deadly partial collapse at a parking garage under construction in Philadelphia has yielded more grim news as crews recover the bodies of 2 workers who had been trapped for days.
The structure, being built for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia near 30th and Grays Ferry Avenue,
partially gave way several days ago, killing one worker instantly and leaving 2 others trapped. Search and rescue teams transitioned to a recovery and demolition operation after no signs of life were found. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Tension in the Middle East have also pushed some U.S. water utilities to cut back on fluoride added to drinking supplies as the war disrupts chemical imports from the region.
Health officials say the reduction is temporary and still within safe limits, but acknowledge that lower fluoride levels may increase the risk of tooth decay over time. Benjamin Wright reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, let's be realistic. That does not sound like fun whatsoever. So there you go. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 1912, the Titanic strikes an iceberg off the coast of Halifax in Nova Scotia and sinks and kills 1,500 plus death tolls. So there you go. In 1968, the first NBA game at Madison Square Garden, Knicks beat the San Diego Clippers. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signs a $165 billion Social Security rescue. And also, let's see, in 1994, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis operated on for a bleeding ulcer. That all happened back on the dates that I corresponded with. So there you go. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Brad Garrett turned 66 today. Anthony Michael Hall turns 58 today. Adrian Brody, 53. Sarah Michelle Gellar turns 49. And Abigail Breslin turns 30 today. So there you go. That's some birthdays that are going on. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $120 million. Here's last night. Winning Powerball numbers was for $45 million. It was 38, 43, 59, 63, 64. Powerball was 15. Power Play was 3. Meta employees may soon be meeting with Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, there you go. Just not the human one. According to the Financial Times, Meta is developing a 3D AI-powered avatar of Zuckerberg designed to speak directly with staff. The digital version is being trained on his voice, mannerisms, and current views on the business, with the goal of making employees feel more connected to the company's founder. Zuckerberg is reportedly personally involved in the training and testing the avatar, which will act as a kind of virtual stand-in for internal conversations. Also, in some other news, eBay is changing how it auctions work, and it's a big shift for U.S. buyers. Starting May the 13th, anyone who wins an auction will no longer be able to cancel their winning bid. The company said the change is meant to protect sellers and keep auctions running smoothly. Buyers can still ask the seller to cancel, but it's entirely up to the seller to approve or reject the request. eBay emphasizes the policy already states that all auction sales are final, and sellers are fully supported if they decline the cancellation. So there you go. Also, 7-Eleven is going to close 600 stores this year to prepare for a massive makeover. So there you go. I guess if you have not had enough of 7-Eleven, this could be a thing for you. So there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together today. Well, meaning for the first hour, because hour 2 and 3, I will be going over to Radio Big if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. I'll be over there talking about the world of music and entertainment, because that's what we do on that side of the equation. Would love to see you over there if you want to come and hang out. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. You can stay here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So if you're good with that, I'm good with that, and we'll get the whole thing moving and grooving for you, no doubt about that. Anyways, if I can leave you with some words of wisdom for today, I would love to leave you with this. If it costs you your peace, it's already too expensive. If I can give you a word of advice for today, before leaving any room, fix one thing. Trash, toys, dishes, micro resets prevent mega mixes.
Mega messes.
So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.